Oh, it is the Sundiest of bloody Sundays here on the ESPN College Football YouTube channel. I am Matt Barrie. Cheers to everyone out there. If you're new to the program, thanks for coming in. If not, you know the drill. We sit here on Sunday mornings, commiserate, love, and laugh about a crazy day in college football. This one, to me, is going to be interesting because it's the final weekend in September. We've reached the first month of the season. So many surprises we could talk about, so many things within college football that have my attention. But let's just start with Saturday and what an incredible day it was around college football. I'm going to leave you with a couple of points here on Sunday Bloody Sunday. First of all, cheers if your team won. You know the drill by now. Cheers to you if you're celebrating a win. First one, cheers to Alabama and Georgia in what was billed as the game of the year. It was 28-0 like that, Alabama. I'm sitting there in studio with Galloway and Dan Mullen saying, oh my gosh, Alabama is going to boat race Georgia out of the yard. Dan Mullen, SEC coach, 100 wins. And his career is like, guys, there's too much football left. There's too much football. I'm like, dude, it's 28-0. Georgia's clueless right now. 12:25 left in the second quarter, 28-0. He's like, trust me, Georgia's really good. They're not going to freak out. There's a lot of football left to be played. And sure enough, Georgia comes back. Carson Beck struggles first half. Little by little, that 28-0 onslaught gets chopped down just enough. And at the end of the day, here's what you learned. You learned two things. One, you learned that Kalen DeBoer is a really damn good football coach. His first SEC win, first game in the SEC, and he's got to go against Georgia. But he took a player in Jalen Milroe, who I said it last week. I thought by the end of the night that Jalen Milroe would be up near the top of the Heisman Trophy race, and Georgia would be among the college football elite again. And think about this for a minute. We got our first year in the post-Nick Saban era, and already Kalen DeBoer in Alabama had said, look, for those of you guys looking for that vacation from Nick Saban being in college football, don't get too comfy because it's not happening. And here we sit on Sunday morning, Sunday Bloody Sunday, cheers, ESPN College Football YouTube channel. We sit here on Sunday morning. Not only are we not going to get the break from Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer has proven that he can still keep Alabama among one of the top 2-3 programs in the country. And I wouldn't be surprised if yesterday was one of 3 meetings between Alabama and Georgia. Meeting 1 goes to Bama. Meeting 2 could be in the SEC championship. And meeting 3 could be in the college football playoff. All I learned yesterday was this. Jalen Milroe has taken that next step under his new head coach. And Georgia, as bad as they looked, I'm more convinced today than I was ever. And I was already convinced by the Dogs. I'm completely convinced that Georgia's a college football playoff team because they almost went into Tuscaloosa down 28-0 and stole the victory. And so cheers to Alabama and Georgia for giving us the greatest game of the year so far. Both of them are headed to the college football playoff. Jalen Milroe's likely headed to New York because that was an unreal performance. And so I can't wait to see what happens because if that's any indication of what we're in store for the rest of the year in the SEC, especially with some other games of the year coming, that was fantastic. But neither team quit, traded punches in the fourth quarter. Georgia comes back to take the lead. Alabama and true freshman 17-year-old Ryan Williams come back and grab it. Unbelievable game. I just hope that that's not the last we see of those two playing each other. That's the one thing I'm convinced of, both playoff teams. And Jalen Milroe heading to New York as a Heisman Trophy finalist. Second thing I'm convinced of, this is a big one, because I've been on the side of, they're good, but big picture, we had better start thinking and discussing Colorado as a team in the Big 12 that can potentially win the Big 12 conference. Cheers to Coach Prime. Let him get his licks in this week. Maybe the more they win, the less he'll talk about it. They go into the bounce house and beat UCF, who, by the way, going into Saturday, UCF had the best chances, playoff odds, according to the ESPN data, to go to the playoff out of the Big 12. UCF. And all Colorado did was go in there and beat them and beat the hell out of them good. Defense still leaves a little bit desired, but they went in there. Shador was awesome. And here's another thing that I'm convinced of. I told you about Jalen Milroe. Travis Hunter needs to be sitting right next to Jalen Milroe in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. If this is truly about the most outstanding player in all of college football, find me a player more outstanding than Travis Hunter. It's not a quarterback award. It's not a quarterback award for the number one team in the country. It's the best and most outstanding player in college football. You can't convince me any way, shape, or form that that's not Travis Hunter, and that Colorado, on the morning after UCF, in a wide open Big 12, and I'm talking wide open, BYU, welcome to the conversation. Kansas State, back in the conversation. Utah goes down. Arizona, back in the conversation. Colorado, Texas Tech. This conference is wide open, and I'm here for it. Cheers to the Big 12. Cheers to the ACC. Clemson looks legit. The Miami fiasco on Friday. So you're telling me this is how we're leaving September to embark on October? You know who's going to be here right with you? Your boy on Sunday Bloody Sunday on the ESPN College Football YouTube channel. By the way, check out the recap Matt Barrie Show presented by Allstate with Paul Finebaum joining me. It's a wild one. We've got you all covered the rest of the college football season here on the ESPN College Football YouTube channel. Cheers.